This is our Forex blog for April 10th, 2015, and some of the changes I put in this week are just absolutely unbelievable. The week, I think, had the best results we've ever had. I'm going to show you the stats in a second and show you also how I come up with those and track patterns over time and fix ones that don't perform. So here's some of the winning trades on Friday. You can see the dollar CAD. Pretty decent 10 or 15 pip win here. Huge 10, 20, 30, or 40 pip win here. And again, another 10, 20, 30 something pips. Here's the euro. Nice 10, 20, 30 pip there. 20 pip win there. And there's still some trades that are, being missed that I would personally have taken. For instance, this one right here. Went right to the 78% fib level. I don't have too many 78% fib patterns in there. It also just made a new low. And I just also added to the Forex signals our intraday value areas. For instance, the hourly and 4-hour. Where did price spend most of its time during the last hour? The yellow line right here is for the previous 4 hours. This is called the point of control, and it spent 68% of its trading activity between the green and the red lines. And these are extremely predictable, very high probability support resistance levels, and also is used as a filter. Let's scroll back and look at the previous day in this. You can see did pretty well. Big win here, small win, huge win, very tiny loss, pretty much break even or 4 pip loss, whatever. One of the patterns I've been working on, it has a lot of losses. I've been putting in extra rules to try to find and cherry pick the best trades like this. This is why I leave it in the system, because as you can see yesterday, it made 63.8 pips on that sell. Huge. So it gets rid of a lot of the 5 to 10 pip losses with one nice win. Here's the pound. Had a narrow range pattern right here. The market spent a long time and lots of bars in a very tight range when it broke out. Decent win, and again there. And not every trade is picked up. Again, if I was manually trading, I probably would have sold this 50% level. Not sure why it didn't show up on that particular trade. Maybe this went up and down and up, and the fib levels I was measuring was from this, and it was too tiny. That's why it's very hard to develop signals and automated trading systems, but and that's why I also have over 1,600 different patterns in there. You can see the euro yen just did outstanding yesterday. One nice win, small win, huge win. Previous day, win, small loss, huge win. Let me just briefly show you the stats for the week, and keep in mind how I calculate these. I fix anywhere from 1 to 3 patterns each day. I usually add 5 or 10 new patterns each day, and then when I'm done, at the end of the day, keep the stats for the whole day. Usually around 8 o'clock each night. So these are the results after I added new patterns, removed oftentimes some of the losses by adding new additional rules to make them look like the original trade. I take a picture of each trade and take notes on each trade. There's over 1,600, and if a trade looks funny, I compare it to the picture in my notes, and oftentimes add new rules, new things I've found over the last year and a half that increases the odds and reduces the losers. So when I'm done with that, you can see here's Friday. This is not the whole week, this is just Friday, believe it or not. 531 pips, 78.26% winning. The win is just astronomical compared to the loss. In fact, if you have a system that's even 40% winning with 2 times bigger wins than losses, you can do all right. If you have 2.5 times bigger wins, you'll do quite well. And if you're over 50% with those win-loss rates, you'll do extremely well too. But if you have almost 31 pip average win and barely 6 pip average loss, and you're 78% winning, you're going to have one hell of a good day. As you can see, the losses were very tiny except for this one. and unfortunately this one frequently finds big wins, so I didn't mess with it. If it over time starts giving more losses, and also big losses like this, I like all my losses to be under 10 pips. I usually will put additional rules in to fix any loss that's over 10 pips, but this trade tends to find some big wins, so I left it alone. Over time, if the stats don't support this pattern, 6-8, I will put additional rules in it. Here's Thursday, 476 pips, 76% winning, and 26, almost 27 pips average win, 6 pip loss. Again, no losses over 10 pips that day. Got a chat request and paused this video, so I'm not sure where I left off on this, but I believe this is Wednesday, 349 pips, and I'm thrilled with this. My goal initially was 100, 150 pips per day and 55 to 60% accuracy. This is the only week we've had where every single day has had over 70% wins at the end of the day. I spent a lot more time recently fixing bad patterns and adding new ones. So you can see this day, some huge wins. All the losses are under 10 pips. That's what I'm happy with. And I think this is Tuesday, 336 pips also. Very, very similar amount of pips, 76% winning. And the average win's a little bit less. I'm happy with 18 to 20 pips average win, and average loss somewhere between 5 and 8 pips. Those are what I'm shooting for. And of course, I want the win percentage to be 55 to 60% or higher. And then here's Sunday, Monday, which this is one of the best Sunday Mondays. Usually the number of pips on Sunday, Monday is under 200, sometimes under 100. The winning percentage usually is rarely over 55%, and the average win is never this high. So this was probably the best Monday and quite possibly the best week ever. I'll just show you the previous week, 308 pips, 393, 358, 224, 336. You can see this week, this day only had 55% winning. This is what the results were typically in the past, a lot of the days, under 60%. Certainly under 70. This is the first week where, after I fixed bad patterns, added new ones, every day this week was over 70. So very happy with the progress. Keep in mind that a lot of good trades are not being found. You could, if I was trading, I probably would have sold here because it's almost a double top, and the market came down. I would have probably had a loss if I was manually trading, and I might not have got into this again after just suffering a loss. So, sometimes you're going to manually trade, find trades that our system doesn't find, and other times you might not take a trade. I probably wouldn't have taken this one that the system found. But there's a lot of tools. Most of these patterns have 20 to 50 different rules, and they're just incredibly sophisticated. Here's this week's log. I keep track of all the work I do. Added 3 new patterns today, 4 yesterday, fixed 1 pattern. On Friday, you can see I added 9 patterns and I only had to fix 1, so that's exceptionally good day. This day I only had to fix 3 patterns that didn't, again, I don't fix every one that causes a loss, but if the trade it looks like something I would never in a million years take, I look at the past stats of that particular pattern, and if it doesn't do that well in the past or has frequent losses, I will put in a lot of rules to try to make it not show up as often in the future, or if it does, it's much more likely to be a winner the next time. And you can see this day I added about 10 new patterns. So again, keep that in mind when you look at these stats. They're unbelievable. They're almost too good to be true, and that's partly because I am adding new patterns each day that were not found before. If you traded this day, you would have had these 3 losses, and you would not have seen these additional 10 trades. All I can do is just keep fixing bad patterns every day and adding new ones that our system doesn't find that I would manually have taken if I was, trading myself, and that's how I do it. Over 1,600 patterns. I am very, very picky. Everything has to line up or there's no trade. So you will sometimes see days where there's not a single trade that shows up. And again, some trades only, if you traded for these couple hours, there was not a single trade here. Although you might have, if you're a manual trader, sold this little wedge pattern right here. It made a new low for the day and kind of spent some time. You might have got short right there, and once your initial stop was right here, you might have moved it down as it went sideways right there, so you have very low risk. I probably would have taken that trade, and I probably also, when it made new lows and also a new low right here, had about an hour to break out over this high and go higher. The fact that it didn't, I probably would have gone short, kind of right in this area right here with a very tight stop, and the system didn't find this trade either. So there's potentially years more work to be done, but I am trading these patterns myself and very happy with the results. And again, this week I just added the value areas, both the hourly and the 4 hour. I mostly use the 4 hour more than the hourly, but they're phenomenal. If you're under the previous 4 hours value area, everyone who bought, or a large percentage of people who bought during the previous 4 hours, is losing money. So if you're watching this, you see it come down to this area and acts as support like it normally does, tries to go higher and fails. When it comes down underneath this area, this is a very high probability place to be selling. And so I will be putting more and more patterns in there that do that. You'll see that over and over and over again. Like, for instance, this narrow range breakout, it spent all that time for an hour and a half underneath the point of control of the last hour, new lows for the day, and it's just one of the best tools that you'll find. You can see it acts as resistance. So if you got short right here, you can have a super tight stop. You don't even have to use our trailing stop. If it goes above here, it's likely to take off. And once it goes underneath this area, it's likely to fall like a rock, which it does. You will be very happy with these the new patterns that I put in over the next 3 to 6 months. That's almost my 100% focus, is using these intraday value areas to find very high probability patterns. I probably would have put a buy right here, which might have broke even or made 3 or 4 pips. Certainly not a huge win, but these are very high probability support resistance areas.